And hello, you lovelies. This is my Venom The Last Dance non-spoiler review here in beautiful Central Park, a perfect place to make a Venom review. I am so excited about this. This movie itself was good, but in my opinion, not great. Going to be diving into all the details without a single spoiler. I promise you, I'm going to do a full spoiler review with Easter eggs on Friday this week, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're new to this page, I do comic book news and reviews, the actual books themselves, as well as movie news and reviews, and I love when the twain shall meet and I can do comic book movie reviews for you lovely. So hit that subscription bell if any of that is your jazz. Also, leave a like in this video and comment below. I want to hear your thoughts on Venom The Last Dance and its general experience for you. Trying to be spoiler free in this comment. If you want to dive into spoilers, check out the next video. All right, let's talk about it. Venom The Last Dance is for Venom fans. If you like the first two Venom movies, this is likely going to be your jam. If you do not like the first two Venoms, this one isn't going to change your mind. So when I say Venom fans, I mean this Venom franchise. A lot of people don't see the character this way. I personally do. To me, it feels a lot like David Michelinie and Todd McFarlane's Venom. It feels like that 90s Venom that was having a blast, and that is what this movie is for me. It is a lot of fun. I love the relationship between Eddie and the symbiote. I love that Venom is one cohesive thing that is dealing with that relationship within himself. I love the moments of pure bromance between Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy doing a ridiculously great voice. That's my jam. So those things in this movie absolutely worked. The A plot really worked for me. The B and C plot, unfortunately, didn't have enough that I was invested until those plots all kind of came together. There are elements of this movie that the writing, I think, wasn't as strong as the stuff that was between Tom and the symbiote, or Tom and Tom. There are elements of this movie that feel like they're just getting to the point where the paths converge. Those road trip elements are delightful. The science B plot, let's call science B and road trip C, I liked C, especially when it all came together. I loved A, didn't really vibe with B. The science elements are fun, but very contrived. A lot of the dialogue there is pretty trite. Juno Temple did not have a lot to work with, and I don't love those character beats for her. I think Juno Temple is fantastic, whether it's Dark Knight Rises in a serious role, whether it's serious but lighthearted in The Incredible Ted Lasso. I like Juno Temple, didn't like her here, didn't think she got a lot to do here. So by the time the plot, converged, I wasn't as invested as I wanted to be fully honest. And then the C plot, the road trip plot, I do think it was fun and silly, but the pacing was a little off as compared to the action pacing in the A plot. So by the time, everything comes together, and, in any movie, the third act, everything comes together, it didn't feel as impactful as I wanted it to, but I was still happy to see it happen, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed the way all of the actors knew what movie they were in for the most part. I feel like Rhys Ifans had an absolute blast filming this film. I feel like you've seen briefly in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler because I'm being very careful with not spoiler. His whole family was so warm and charming and pleasant, and that tied beautifully into the family element that is Venom. Like, Venom is a family of two. It is the symbiote and Tom, and it is a really interesting, nostalgic movie for that relationship, for that little family, the two of them together. And I think that we've seen in the first film the reluctance to form this bond. In the second film, the struggle to balance that bond. And then in this third film, they are Venom. They are the lethal protector. They are together. And that's a really, it's a beautiful story. I love a bromance. So I had a really great time with the bromance elements of it. I really love seeing Tom Hardy happy. It's one of my favorite actors, period. And this is something he clearly did out of love of the character, out of love of Eddie Brock, out of love for the version of the character that he built over these 7 years. If you see, there's a recent clip going around of him with the fans. I was in the Sony room, and he stayed for, I left after 20 minutes. I had some business to do, but after those 20 minutes, Tom was still up on stage, and he apparently stayed another 45. So the dude was there like an hour signing every single Venom head and taking selfies, and like, the dude loves this. I love his reverence for Todd McFarlane and for Donny Cates and for Ryan Stegman. Donnie and Ryan did the King in Black run. This movie is largely based around. So I really respect his love for the character, and those elements shone so frickin' bright. And to stay non-spoiler, King in Black elements are essential reading. If you haven't read King in Black, it is a recent run from Donnie and Ryan, and it is centered around Knull. And Knull here gets a lot of beautiful setup. Knull here is feeling like this big bad to come, and I did expect less of him. We got more than I expected, and I do think the way things can go is exciting. I really am intrigued by how this left off. I really am curious about what's next. I really think it's a really special time to be a Venom fan, because this does open doors and closed doors. So I'm very intrigued by it. So Chiwetel Ejiofor is always a delight. Again, he was in the science plot, so wasn't my favorite Chiwetel performance or take, but by the time we got to the rhythm, I did dig it. The first two acts are pure chaos, but so are, any first two acts of a Venom movie. This movie is gonzo. It's very Hunter S. Thompson insanity, and this road trip element suits that gonzo-ness. So to me, I love the first film. Genuine love. And a lot of people don't, but I do. The moment Tom Hardy got in that lobster tank, I was like, this is the Venom that I never thought we'd see. Second film, I liked, didn't love, and this one is in between that. It's not, for me, as strong as the first film, but a lot of things really, really work. The road trip stuff, the joy, the adventure, the action is incredibly well shot. There's so much action that is pure symbiote madness. The separation anxiety era symbiotes are so much fun. I don't want to give away too much about what we see with those till the spoiler review that's coming on Friday, but those separation anxiety symbiotes and the team, how do I talk about them? The team of mercenary special forces characters from the separation anxiety that I don't want to dive into too much are also really cool to see on film, plus those symbiotes. So the Six and the Jury and all that stuff is exciting for me as a lifelong Venom fan. You blend that 90s Venom with the King in Black stuff, and you add a road trip element, which is a genre of film I really enjoy, I'm gonna have a good time. That said, it did have a lot going on, and it does feel at points disjointed. I do want to give some love to Kelly Marcel, who is the co-writer along with Tom Hardy and the director of this film. This is her first thing ever, and it's insane that some of the fights and some of the action, like her communication and work with Tom Hardy is on full display here. Her communication and work with whoever did the second unit directing is beautifully displayed here, because some of the action is bananas, and clearly she hired a team around her she trusted, because the things she's able to accomplish as a first-time director are astounding. Now that's pro and con, because the pro is these shots are amazing. The con is some of the pacing, some of the directing of the acting, some of the things that are clearly a first-time director does kind of, keep it on a not perfect and not as fun for me as the first film scale, but she should be impossibly proud of this being her first film, and Tom Hardy should be impossibly proud of his friend that he has worked with since, I think, his 20s. So this feels like a love letter to Venom from Tom. This feels like a guy that really loves his other, and that other got a beautiful last dance. And I don't want to give too much away about the last dance itself, but that was also really fun. So yeah, third act action, insane. Second act, messy, but the action's fun. The road trip stuff's fun. First act, I will say, one of the things about the film that is on the lower side for me is it has as many beginnings as, like, The Lord of the Rings has endings. This movie starts a lot. So it definitely, started rough for me. So if you're watching this deep into the review, know that it starts rough and then finds its way. So don't let the beginning throw you off too much, because it threw me off in the beginning, but I definitely found my way with the film. So starts rocky, gets better. By the time you're at the third act, you're having a ball, and Venom Horse is everything you'd want. The other Venom animals I don't want to give away are a blast. That whole sequence is insane. They showed it at the Sony panel for a reason. What else do I want to make sure I get across non-spoiler? If you like Venom in the 90s, if you understand Venom is a humorous character that is a cool badass design, but Venom is silly a lot of the time, I think his design is a lot like Tom Hardy's. Tom Hardy is a jacked, pretty, intense guy, and he plays that very well, but he's also a silly, soft teddy bear of a man that does bedtime stories on the BBC. Venom has crazy teeth. He's black, viscous terror, but he's a silly guy. And I feel like Tom really identifies with Venom, and this was his last dance to send a love letter to Venom as a concept, as a 7-year journey that he had, and as a man who loves showing his soft side with a hard exterior, because I think that's who he is. So I really got a lot out of that. For me personally, that's why I like this trilogy, because Tom Hardy the Man seems to be such a good bloke. So that is going to do it for Venom the Last Dance non-spoiler review. There are plenty of spoilers. I literally only wanted to say that there was more Knull than I expected, but I don't want to talk about any more Knull stuff until the spoiler review. I don't want to talk about anything that goes on in the third act too much, except for that the action is great till that. So if you're excited for me to be able to talk about this a little more openly than just, you know, poetically about my appreciation for it, tune into my spoiler review dropping on Friday. I'm going to include some fun Easter eggs in that video as well, so expect a spoiler/Easter egg video to drop. In the meantime, if you like comic books, if you like comic movies, if you like movies in general, hit that subscription bell. Please leave a like in this video. Please leave a comment below. This has been me reporting from Central Park. What a beautiful, magical place to film a review. I'm a happy lad. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being on my page. My own personal page growing past 36K means so much to me. Finally passed that marker, that goal. My 36th birthday was in September. I wanted to hit 36K, and I finally did. So we're on the road to 37 in a row, and I'm very excited you guys are here with me. So much love. Thank you to the Venom team for loving this character I love so much. I learned to read with Spider-Man. Venom was not far behind, and I've always loved the guy. Todd McFarlane helped me learn how to read with Torment, and I tell him that as much as I can. So Todd McFarlane's baby, getting this a beautiful, beautiful love letter means a lot. All right, that'll do it. Much love, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.